As I film this, George W. Bush is still President of the United States. By the time I upload it, Barack Obama will be President of the United States. Yesterday, as most of you are aware, was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is why I didn't film a video. I didn't do any driving yesterday. And today we are inaugurating the first black president in U.S. history. And so Book Review Monday is going to be on Tuesday this week, and appropriately enough, the book that I am reviewing is The Astonishing Life of Octavian Nothing, Traitor to the Nation, Volume 1, The Pox Party, by M.T. Anderson. This is a book that deals with the issues of slavery, race, and identity in the years leading up to the Revolution. Octavian is a young boy, later a young man, who lives in very unusual circumstances. And he is treated very well and given a classical education, and he is watched and observed constantly. As he is to later learn, he is the subject of an experiment. The experiment in question is to find out whether or not African people are in fact inferior to European people. This book plays around with the idea of identity a lot. The story is divided into 4 parts, and in the first part of the story, when Octavian is still a young boy, everybody that he lives with, all these scientists and everybody, they're all referred to by number, depending on what family they're from and also where they are in that family. In fact, there are only 3 people in the household that Octavian consistently refers to by name. There's himself, Octavian, his mother, and a slave boy who's actually treated like a slave boy, who is called Bono, which incidentally is another word for nothing. So in part 1, we see kind of a reversal of the commonly accepted identity process of those times. Then in the second part of the novel, everything changes. The metric identity system ends, and everyone is now referred to by their actual names. And Octavian is usually not called Octavian. He is usually called the boy or the subject. So then at the end of part 2, something really interesting happens. Up until this point, the book is written in Octavian's own hand. Part 3 is told from the point of view of others. Part 3 is a collection of letters, most of them from one particular person who spent time with Octavian, but also from other people who saw him. It tells Octavian's continuing life from the outside point of view. And this serves to illustrate that Octavian is no longer quite himself. And this is a narrative technique that was used less successfully in Twilight. You'll recall that in New Moon, towards the beginning, after Edward leaves, and I apologize for spoiling the story for anybody, but Edward leaves, you'll recall that there's a series of blank pages following his departure to illustrate that Bella has gone into her own head, has essentially disappeared. Octavian Nothing does essentially the same thing, only it does it better. Because part 3 not only illustrates that Octavian has kind of shut himself off, but it also illustrates that his life is continuing to go on despite that. But we can see right there in the text, right there in the style of writing, how Octavian's identity or his sense of identity changes throughout the story, which is a really cool writing technique, and it really illustrates really well what the book is about. So I have to agree with John Green that Octavian Nothing is an excellent book to read. I'm currently working my way through Volume 2. And with that, George W. Bush's presidency ends just 50 minutes from now. And I wish Barack Obama luck in the years to come, because he totally watches this channel. And with the sun glaring in your eyes and with me stopped on the road, I will see you in the next administration. Bye.